And that's how you get surprise snot.
It really is. It really is. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Monkey in the Morning. I'm your host, the Ranting Monkey. He's Jack. Say hi, Jack.
Oh, hi, everybody.
Jack, how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing okay.
It's been a weird day, man. I got a little bit of sleep, and my cat cuddled with me, and the internet's being the internet. So it's been a day. Uh, but tonight we're gonna do new stuff. The last two shows we've done have been mostly just video response. Yesterday completely, and then the day before, well, we had a day off, and then the day before that was mostly a video thing. We got news and stuff to catch up on, including this story that we're going to start with, where I saw this a few days ago, and something about the story just hit me wrong, Jack.
No, what?
Now, I got to tell y'all, we're going to be talking about the death of a 16-year-old. And I'm not happy this 16-year-old is dead, but I'm really upset about the way that their death has been used. I first see this, Jack, because Libs of TikTok is being blamed for this child's death. If not specifically blamed, certainly they're part of the problem.
Yeah.
The child's name is the name they made up for themselves is Nex Benedict. I don't know why they went with Nex. That's Nex, not Next. So if I enunciate improperly, I apologize, but it's Nex, like Nexus.
And you went with
Is that what they were
Benedict?
going for? Nexus, get the merge.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, they're non-binary, or were,
Kids are dumb.
and they got murdered in their school or something like that. I don't even know. You know what? I think I'm going to start with this. This is how the Independent from the UK sent out this story, Jack. Oklahoma banned trans students from bathrooms. Now a bullied student is dead after a fight.
No, nose.
Dun dun dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
They actually could have done this a little bit better for their propaganda bullshit. They could have said after a bathroom fight, because the fight did happen in the bathroom. They missed it there, Jack. They're slipping a little in their propaganda.
No, they're just getting comfortable and lazy at the same time.
So we're going to leave this on the screen as we talk, set up the story a little bit. Here's how the story goes out. This child is non-binary. They're non-binary, y'all. They've been bullied over and over again, and then the bullies beat them up in the bathroom. The police weren't called. They weren't taken to the hospital by the school. They didn't call an ambulance or anything, Jack. The child couldn't even walk on their own to the nurse's office, which is not true, by the way. And then they sent him home, and then grandma, who adopted her, so mom, takes her to the hospital, and the hospital's like, you might have a concussion, you can go home.
We don't treat your kind around here, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
No, the school resource officer was called in to get a statement.
Oh, no, a statement.
And then they're sent home,
serious.
And the next day they were dead. That makes it kind of sound like they, woke up dead. Yeah, didn't wake up, but somebody went to check on them and they were dead in bed or something like that.
Obviously. I mean, it's part of the trans genocide thing.
All because of these bigots who had been bullying them and beat them up for being trans.
Yeah.
For being non-binary, for being weird.
For being different.
Okay. Let's talk about that. We're going to move on, and we're actually going to read the Teen Vogue version of this. This is from today. Well, yesterday now. And we're going to take a look at how they tell us the story. This is everything we know about the case, Jack. Everything we know. Sorry, I switched over to their tab, and for some reason it went to the bottom of the article on me. Nex Benedict, everything we know about the 16-year-old Oklahoma student's death. Nex Benedict, a 16-year-old Oklahoma high school sophomore, was beaten by 3 girl classmates in a bathroom of Owasso High School on February 7th. On February 8th, Nex, who identified within the Two-Spirit, Transgender, and Gender Non-Conforming umbrella, they have their own initials now, Jack. It's 2STGNC.
I've been seeing this a lot lately. They're apparently just trying to phase out the gays.
Anyway, on February 8th, they were declared dead at the hospital. Now LGBTQ plus Oklahomans are mourning the loss of a straight-A student, a Minecraft fan, it's a weird thing to throw in there, and an animal lover, a teenager in a school district previously targeted by libs of TikToks, however you say her name. Rychek now sits on a statewide library advisory board.
In Oklahoma?
Yeah.
Well, that's a random state to go with, I guess. Does she live in Oklahoma?
I'm guessing so, to be appointed to the board. I imagine that's something that has to be on there. I don't know where the hell she's at. In 2023, Oklahoma censured the state's only non-binary representative, not to mention signing into law a bill forcing public students to use the bathroom associated with their gender assigned at birth.
Oh my God. I can't go peek on women anymore? Sons of bitches.
Advocates are currently closely watching several anti-trans pieces of legislation.
Oh, all related, no doubt.
Before Benedict's name was made public, a source who claimed to be the mother of Benedict's friend told a local outlet the cause of death was complications from brain trauma. By the way, I know this might sound disrespectful because we're talking about a child, but believe me, it's warranted here. Complications from brain trauma, and that 3 older girls were beating the victim and her daughter in the girls' bathroom. See, you had to fight in the bathroom. Yeah,
Wait, were they beating the mom too?
Yeah, they were beating everybody, man.
Oh.
If you've even heard of trans people, these 3 girls were beating your ass.
Oh, wow. Well,
yeah, they're horrible.
Busy girls. They sound like bad people.
They really do. They really do. We are not linking because the story uses Benedict's dead name.
Oh, son of a bitch. Bastards.
Yeah, you know who used Benedict's dead name and got all that started?
Benedict?
Their grandma, their guardian.
Oh, well, grandma's old, see. And those oldsters, they don't understand what gender non-conforming is. They're not hip with the kids like we are.
Grandma, the one who just lost this child, they were the legal guardian of this child, had to come out and beg people not to be rude to her because she misused pronouns talking about this child she helped raise.
Well, nope. She's obviously a bigot too. This is all part of the problem. Even grandma is a bigot. She was surrounded by a monkey. It's a culture of hate.
According to Freedom, Oklahoma, it's not presently clear which pronouns Benedict uses, which, by the way, again, the grandma was being blasted for not using the right pronouns. So this story will refrain from using pronouns for Nex. Jack, what pronoun should you use if you don't know the pronouns of somebody?
Bitch.
No, seriously, in English.
They.
They. You know what their preferred pronouns were, according to what we're told?
They.
They.
Huh.
Weird. That is the proper time if you're talking about a singular individual to use they or them, is if you don't know their sex.
Yeah.
This would be the time you use that. We're just not going to use pronouns for them.
Yeah, we're just going to continue to call them Victor. Timothy.
Victor, Victoria. We're just going to stop using parts of English because you might offend a dead girl.
Well, I mean, look, in the afterlife, you get little cuts on you.
I guess.
And you can't make it to the Elysian Fields because people are misgendering you still because they're hateful bigots. They're just so full of hate, monkey. It's hate everywhere. Hate. Time to burn it all down. Am I doing this
where
right?
are we? Yes, you are.
I'm activist.
The anonymous source also alleged that Benedict couldn't walk to the nurse's station without assistance and that the school did not call an ambulance, while the school claims they were unaware of the fight until informed by parents. On February 20th, the school backtracked, acknowledging that the students saw the nurse after the fight. There's no reason for them to deny that they saw the nurse. And I don't know what they're talking about here, because the part where they have a link for the backtrack, but not the original, hey, we didn't know about this fight thing.
I can tell you how that went down. They called the secretary, and the secretary's like, I don't know anything about that. So then she had to go to the nurse and find out that, yes, somebody did come to the nurse. So they're trying to make it look like it's a cover-up.
Now, I just want to point out that this is everything we know. And this does go on for quite a while. And the next paragraph is actually important, because it was largely buried in most reporting until yesterday, really, the 21st. And I don't want to get ahead of the story, but we're 3 paragraphs in. All we know is that on February 7th, they were in a fight, and on February 8th, they died. That's literally all we know about this person. Since then, it's been libs of TikTok, the state passing a law, and a anonymous source who claimed to be the mother of a friend bullshitting media outlets. Now, if you were just reading this and you didn't know the truth of the story, you wouldn't understand that person is lying, but they're absolutely lying. They absolutely lied about them not being able to walk without any help. Okay, so we have seen, let's see, I want to make sure I'm not closing ones I want to keep open. Actually, you know what? I'll just leave that one open. This is how the New York Post covered the story. This one. Non-binary teen who died after bathroom beating sent series of heartbreaking texts describing how they, quote, got jumped at school. Dun, dun, dun. By the way, this was published yesterday when more was known about all this. But there it is right there. She got jumped at school, and she sent heartbreaking texts. Doesn't that make it sound like maybe she was like all broken up about it, or she was crying about it, or something that actually showed she was heartbroken?
Yeah.
I mean, they used the word heartbroken.
Yeah, heartbreaking text like, oh, I can't believe I got targeted at school because of my vagina or whatever.
For not using, I wanted to use different pronouns and they beat me to death. Can you believe it?
It hurts so much, almost as much as the actual physical bleeding.
You want to take a guess on whether or not they sent heartbreaking texts?
I'm guessing they did not.
Yeah, it's kind of like they did not. Sorry, I don't mean to laugh. This is a dead child, and that part's not funny, but the way that they are using this child, Jesus Christ. We're going to skip ahead and go to a different story from the New York Post, Jack. This one is as of midnight today, so 12:39, just a little while ago, like 3.5 hours ago. 16-year-old non-binary student Nex Benedict's death was not caused by injuries from the school fight, according to police. What? It's not just according to police, it's according to the medical examiner. They did an autopsy. Now, I don't know if you guys know this about an autopsy, but they check your organs and stuff for damage that would have caused your death.
But so this isn't even a question. To give an autopsy on a non-binary person? I
don't know if you're allowed to.
I mean, how do you do that? There's just, 2 forms.
They had a left and right hemisphere. It's the duality of man.
No, duality is bad, monkey. We can't have that. That's a binary.
Duality of non-binary.
Oh, wait. Yeah. Okay, that makes total sense.
Can you have a duality in a non-binary?
I don't know. This is all made up bullshit anyway, so
that's
why not?
True. The death of the 16-year-old non-binary student Nex Benedict was not caused by injuries sustained in a fight in a bathroom the day before, authorities said Wednesday. A preliminary autopsy report by medical examiner's office indicated the Oklahoma teen did not die from trauma.
Not physical trauma, monkey, but mental trauma.
Benedict, whose family said they identified as non-binary, died on February 8th, the day after getting into a fight that might have been sparked by bullying about their gender identity. They don't even know why this fight started.
No, of course not. But we still have to
Wait.
come to conclusions.
But we do. We actually do. Do you remember that just a moment ago, the heartbreaking texts?
Oh, yeah.
This is where I first saw them, was in this article. We're going to scroll down just a little bit to where they are. Here's the heartbreaking text. Nex says, I got jumped at school 3-on-1, had to go to the ER. For the record, in the original article from the same news source, the New York Post, at the end, at the bottom, it says, Benedict messaged a family member about the fight in this one. In the other one, it says Benedict messaged a friend. So I don't know who they were actually messaging. So their friend / family member says, are you okay? And she says this, all good, just scrapes and bruises. Got a shot in the butt for pain, but if I'm still dizzy and nauseous in the morning, I might have a concussion. Now, I have no doubt in today's climate that kids are hitting each other in the head and they may have had a concussion. But it's not one that led to their death, at least according to the medical examiner, who probably saw their brain if they did their job right. Just saying. They would have checked for things like aneurysms and other various brain injuries that could have caused death.
What?
They would have looked for like a blood clot. You know, they would have looked for stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't know. That sounds fishy, monkey.
The other person says, why did they jump you? What did the school do about it? Pay attention to this part. They've been bullying me and my friends, and I got tired of it. So I poured some water on them, and all 3 of them came after me. School did not.
Wait, what?
Hey, hold that thought. Let me finish reading this. School did not report the police and is probably getting sued. And then there's something that's blanked out for reasons I can't. I'm guessing they're saying the person's name. Then they lost the girls after they made me and my friends separate, and one of my friends had to be escorted to his bus because they couldn't find them. So what they're saying there is that the other girls all disappeared and the school had to protect that other person. Now, Jack, I saw you start, or I heard you start to get a little animated there. Care to share with the class what caught your attention?
This bitch started the fight.
This bitch started the fight. Is Benedict a boy or a girl? Biologically a girl. So yeah, this is the heartbreaking text, Jack. This is the heartbreaking part. Oh my God, she destroyed our narrative. That's the only heartbreaking part of this. Look, it sucks, but by their own admission, they're okay. They're just a little. I mean, they got in a fight.
Now, Jack, we got to pause for a second here.
Sure.
Eagle's in chat.
Eagle, dude, how are you, man?
Live. I was worried about you, man. I hope you're doing well.
Me too. I hope this means things went as well as possible. Got a long fucking road. I bet you do, my friend. I bet you do.
Yeah, hang in there, man. Just don't give up, because it's easy to get discouraged after a major operation. But yeah, hang in there, man.
Yeah, dude, it's good to see you, man. Good to see you. Okay, Absolutely. So hey, Jack, if I'm being honest, do you see anything heartbreaking here? Because I really don't.
No, it sounds like she got in a fight that she started after getting teased. Look, I was bullied in school. I know how this works. You don't escalate the bullies because they typically will kick your ass. There were 3 of them and one of her. Those are not good odds.
Wait. There were 2 of her, because it was, and I'm not doing a non-binary joke thing. Her and her friend got beat up that day.
Yeah, but her friend probably was just the forced backup.
It was 2-on-3. That's still not the right odds, but it was 2-on-3. They make it sound like 3 girls found this non-binary kid and beat the shit out of him in a bathroom. That's not what happened.
No, she poured water on them.
Yeah, even if we go, which, by the way, that's assault.
Oh, absolutely.
If we go by this kid's own telling, they were making fun of her. Let's get it as bad as possible. They were being homophobic, transphobic, two-spirit phobic, whatever. And she escalated it to the violence.
Yeah, she threw the first punch, metaphorically.
You know what? As I was thinking about this, came into my head. Do you remember the scene in the original Karate Kid where they're at the dance and he goes to the bathroom and Johnny comes in and then he puts the hose over Johnny and turns it on and then runs off and they all chase him down and beat him up. And it's like, can you believe they beat him up for
Yeah, he
that? Yeah, I
started it.
can. I absolutely can.
Yeah.
I'd have kicked his ass too.
Yeah, and rightfully so, because he words are words. Words can't hurt you unless you let them. But when you move it to physical aggression, whether you feel justified or not is not the same thing. So yeah, she escalated this to the point of physical contact. They did not. And I do not like defending bullies. But
no,
she escalated this. Or they escalated them. Whatever. I don't fucking know what words I'm supposed to use.
well, we're told that in all of the articles about the it's a quote from the grandmother that just gets repeated everywhere. The bullying got worse all over through the year. But the grandmother also says, I didn't know how bad the bullying had got.
Well, apparently it wasn't that bad because if you're really getting severely bullied, you don't retaliate this way. You know what's going to happen.
Wait. No, in chat we're being asked, why Libs is being brought into this. Libs of TikTok is brought into this because last year Libs of TikTok pointed out some horrible shit that a teacher was doing at this school, and that teacher had to leave. And we're being told that is Nex's favorite teacher. Which article is that in? I have so many of these articles up. Was it this one? Was it the we can pull this article on the screen, bring it back on. This is the one that they banned bathroom things and then the kid's dead. Whenever Oklahoma teenager Nex Benedict was bullied at school for being transgender, their mother, Sue Benedict, actually their grandmother, would encourage the 16-year-old to rise above their tormentors. I said, you've got to be strong and look the other way because these people don't know who you are. If she had done that in this case, she wouldn't have got beat up that day. She might have still died because we don't know how she died.
41%.
Well, no, here's the thing, Jack. It was the next afternoon, and they were getting ready to go somewhere, and she just passed out.
Oh, so
my
she
guess,
could have like
drugs.
A brain hemorrhage or something. Yeah, drug abuse.
See, brain hemorrhage would make sense if it wasn't for the autopsy, which would have looked for that. So no trauma can be attributed to it. We have to, at that point, assume that they looked for something like that. My guess would be more drug use.
Yeah, tox screen hasn't come back yet. I'm sure it's been too recent.
Yep, they're still waiting on the tox screen. Do I have the statement from? Yeah, here's the statement from the Owasso police. While the investigation continues into the altercation, preliminary information from the medical examiner's office is that a complete autopsy, Jack, that's everything, that's brain and all, was performed and indicated that the decedent did not die as a result of trauma. At this time, any further comment on the cause of death are currently pending until toxicology results and other ancillary testing results are received. The official autopsy report will be available at a later date. So we don't know what happened exactly. What we do know is that unless this medical examiner used to work in Arkansas for the Clintons, they can say pretty definitively, no, there was no trauma that caused this death. And that would be something like a brain bleed, that, an aneurysm from the fight.
Yeah.
No, they would have looked for that.
Could have been some like undiagnosed heart condition.
Yep.
Or something like that. But I think the autopsy probably would have found like holes in the heart. But if she OD'd or took something and had a bad reaction to it, that'll all come out the tox screen.
Yep. Hell, it could have been a reaction to the shot she got for pain.
Yeah. Yeah.
She doesn't say what the shot was.
Or it could be that she angered the gods by being biologically inconsistent with the rest of the universe on humanity, because there's no such thing as non-binary.
I didn't know how bad it had gotten. Well, as far as we know, and this is by the dead girl's own words, it was words. That's how bad it had gotten.
Yeah. As somebody that was routinely beaten in school, words are words. Bullying these days is fucking lame. You
Yes,
would
it
not
is.
have survived 1 week in high school in the 80s and 90s. You babies. Words. Grow up. Stop being weird, okay? Stop doing this like, I'm a non-binary two-spirit, and maybe people won't pick on you. Conformity, there's a lot to be said for. I'm sorry.
The bullying had started in earnest in the beginning of the 2023 school year, a few months after Oklahoma Governor Kevin Stitt signed a bill that required public school students to use the bathrooms that matched their listed on their birth certificate. Okay. Why would that be an issue for a non-binary person?
I don't know.
Retro, thank you so very much. Morning Monkey, your schedule is playing hell with my sleep schedule. A third to Jack, a third to Little Butt. Thank you so much for that double feminist $12. Appreciate it. Appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Retro.
Yeah, my sleep schedule's fucking with me too, man. I believe it or not, Jack, I've started to sleep a normal amount of time. I'm still waking up and stuff, but I'm asleep for about 6 hours, which isn't the 8 hours you're supposed to get, but I can live with 6 hours of sleep. The problem is when it's happening. I would much rather do this show at 11 o'clock in the evening, get to bed by 1 or 2, and then have, like a normal day where I see my family and everything. But I've been going to sleep like just after my wife gets off work, so I don't even get to see her at night. So it's really driving me nuts.
You got to do something about that.
I'm trying, man. Anyway, where are we? Yeah, why? So if you're non-binary, which bathroom do you use?
Use the janitor's closet.
Was this a non-binary who was using the boys' bathroom or the girls' bathroom? Monkey do math. Monkey always do math.
Well.
Monkey good at math. Monkey bad at language.
And talking about himself in third person.
A few weeks ago, on February 7th, the bullying allegedly erupted in violence when Nex suffered a severe head injuries during a severe head injuries. By her own thing, there were some cuts and bruises.
Nope.
Sue Benedict told The Independent she was called to the school that day to find Nex badly beaten with bruises over their face and eyes and with scratches on the back of their head. Yeah, because when girls fight, they go for the hair. There's some hair pullers, man.
Well, honestly, she's lucky that this bathroom fight wasn't in the men's room with a bunch of teenage boys. They would beat the ever-loving fuck out of her. Probably broke some orbital bones, too.
Thank you, Mighty Balzac. I can't do a Cockney accent. In Cockney rhyming slang, Chaya is a 4x2. What is a 4x2?
I'm not familiar with that. An 8?
Yeah.
2x4? I don't know. I don't know the reference.
Next told her that they use the proper pronoun. That's not the proper pronoun, by the way. I'm being sarcastic. Next told her that she and another transgender student at Waso High School had been in a fight with the 3 older girls in the bathroom. Next was knocked to the ground during the fight and hit their head on the floor, according to their mother. The retellings of this fight are all over the place. At one point, she's on the ground just getting her head beaten in. To the point she couldn't even walk, man. Couldn't even walk. She had to be helped to the nurse's office.
They had to carry her, drag her. They dragged her because that's what you do to non-binary people, right? You drag them.
Miss Benedict said she was furious that the school had failed to call an ambulance or the police. She said the school then informed her that Nex was being suspended for 2 weeks. You know why Nex was suspended for 2 weeks?
Because she started a fight.
She started a fight. This is not in any of the other reporting before this, before yesterday when the autopsy thing drops and we suddenly get the text messages. But the whole thing about them starting the fight, that it being a 2-on-3 fight, all of that is missing from previous context, as they're instead trying to blame libs of TikTok for it.
And they're going to justify this saying, well, she was being bullied. In this case, taking it to in most cases, actually, taking it to a physical level makes you the bully.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe the other group was wrong to make fun of her. That's fine. But you don't get to assault them for words. That's not how this works. Believe me, I would have loved for it to be justifiable as a kid to go and attack my bullies, but it's not. That's not how this works. You have to be better than that and not physically assault people, assholes.
Look, I'm of the old school way that at a certain point, yeah, especially when I was a kid, if you fucked with me too much, I would have eventually, we were going to fight.
Yeah, but you do that shit not in a public area where you're like, I bet this was at the cafeteria where she dumped water on him, where there's lots of witnesses. Idiot.
Yep. But even then, I mean,
they slashed their car tires like a grown up.
I'm so upset they didn't call the police. I was in fights in school. Police were never called. And then they said, like, mad that she didn't call an ambulance. What they did is called the parents and told the parents, hey, if you think they need to go to the hospital, you need to take them to the hospital.
Yeah.
People get in fights all the time without going to the hospital. Anyway, I want to switch back over to the, because I found the part, because people were asking why this was linked to libs. Here, back over on the Teen Vogue story. Nex did not see themselves as male or female. Nex saw themselves right down the middle. I was still learning about it. Nex was teaching me that, Benedict, the mom, told The Independent. I was so proud of Nex. They were going someplace. They were so free.
Oh, those are weird phraseologies, man.
It is. This is some hippie bullshit.
Yeah.
The child was doing well in school. Straight A's, Jack. When was the last time you heard of a kid who's severely bullied getting straight A's? Anyone? Isn't that what they normally go to tell us that the
real bullying or this made up?
Any?
Yeah, no, never.
We're always told that the bullying, that one of the easiest ways you can tell is that their grades start to go down.
Yep.
Maybe the bullying had nothing to do with the non-binary shit. Maybe, just throwing this out there, it was typical kid shit.
Yeah. Look, whenever you're different, you're going to get bullied. You just have to accept that.
Wait.
What you can't do is escalate it. That's a terrible idea. That's how you get your ass kicked in a bathroom.
By today's definition, you don't even have to be different. Because anybody making fun of you at all is bullying. And every kid gets made fun of.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's part of growing up. And a lot of times your friends are making fun of you, too.
Yeah.
It's good-natured, but they're still technically making fun of you. Now, maybe this kid was bullied a little bit, but I'm not buying that based on the fact they felt comfortable enough to pour water on these kids.
Yeah.
Because people that are bullied tend to be a lot more gun-shy than that. And like I said, you slash their tires like a grown-up. This is not the appropriate response by somebody that's been heavily bullied. This is somebody that's reacting with the anger of the not bullied.
Multiple outlets and individuals, including Oklahoma newscaster Wendy Suarez, as well as Freedom Oklahoma, the state's LGBTQ plus advocacy organization, connected Bennett's death to the appointment of Ryacek, who has been accused of stochastic terrorism, to the state's Library Media Advisory Committee in January by the state's Secretary of Public Instruction, Ryan Walters.
They make it sound like stochastic terrorism is a real thing.
They really do. According to The Independent, a teacher who Nex had greatly admired resigned in 2022 after Ryacek targeted them on social media. Ryacek has denied any responsibility in Benedict's death and has instead misgendered Nex repeatedly on social media posts. Yes, because Libs of TikTok keeps saying she because it was a girl.
Yeah, because this person's a girl. Because I'm sure the medical examiner didn't find a third thing down there.
As for Walters, in a 2023 video released by the Oklahoma Department of Education, he utilized transphobic rhetoric. He's also banned students from changing their gender on school grounds. Okay, so to answer the question, how is this tied to Libs of TikTok? It's not. It's not even close.
No,
nothing to do with this.
This is the same type of bullshit where they're trying to destroy somebody so they find any loose connection they can because they hate Libs of TikTok. But this is just propaganda. They're standing on the corpse of this girl to get at somebody they don't like. I'm so sick of this shit. This is lazy propaganda. And using this girl's death, as unfortunate as it is, because it is unfortunate, this teenage girl's dead.
Yeah, it is. I'm not happy this child is dead. It's fucked up.
Well, no, nobody's happy about that. Even her bullies aren't likely happy about it. Well, I mean, activists are happy she's dead.
Yeah.
Now
they got a dead kid to stand on.
Yeah, but these people that do that are monsters. Mm-hmm. And it's fucking gross. This is actually, I think, worse than the George Floyd thing. Because I saw some people making comparisons to that. But yeah, I think this is worse because this kid, we don't know what killed her, and it's almost certainly not bullying.
Remember when people used to get up on a soapbox to pontificate? Now they stack dead kids on top of each other and do it.
Yeah, a form of soapbox, and it's a bunch of child corpses turning into some sort of sick Voltron.
All 2S LGBTQ plus Oklahomans deserve the safety to thrive, reads in part Freedom Oklahoma's statement about Nex Benedict's death. And that is becoming increasingly difficult, especially for 2S LGBTQ plus youth in Oklahoma schools who face a growing list of targeted harms, from bans on access to playing sports that align with their gender to single-sex bathrooms and changing rooms restrictions that further ostracize and endanger students, non-consensual outing by school officials, shrinking access. What does this have to do with a kid who threw water at another kid and got beat up for it? Seriously. Anyone?
Well, if she hadn't been misgendered and denied all this, maybe she wouldn't have thrown water on those bigots.
Some outlets reported that Nex was a member of the Cherokee Nation on February 20th.
Yeah, there's the victim card, number 2.
Well, this is, the whole two-spirit thing. Chief Chuck Hoskin Jr., the principal chief of the Cherokee Nation, issued a statement clarifying, upon searching our database, we have no indication that she was a citizen of the Cherokee Nation. However, she was a child living within our reservation and deserved love, support, and to be kept safe. Hey, what happens if she never throws that water at these kids?
Then they wouldn't beat her up.
No. Thank you, Frosted Glass, who says pre-Optimus Prime. Oh man, this just disgusts me, man, that they're using this child this way.
It is. Oh, AP's in the chat again. Hey, what's up, AP?
I haven't commented on this because what's up, AP? I didn't comment on this because there was something that just wasn't sitting right about it. The all of the conversation about it was people said, she got beat up for being trans. People said.
I think
Good.
I think you missed something here, though. This happened on the reservation, right?
Yes.
So this is the fault of the Indians.
Probably.
So
there was some talk about that. There was some talk about that when it comes to, real quick, there was talk about it because of which police responded or didn't respond.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's tribal territory, so tribal police should have responded. No, I think what should happen is the LGBT should go to war with the Cherokee. Because I got $10 on the Cherokee right now, flat out.
Well, they can throw fire water at him, I guess. Yeah,
So
it's
they
just.
have bows and arrows. What are these hippies gonna do? Oh, you misgendered me. Ouch.
I was reminded because seriously, I saw this story and like something's not sitting right, but I'm like, I'm gonna wait before I comment on it, and then we get all the additional information. Did you see Ann Coulter's appearance? Not the whole thing, but the clips going around where she was on Bill Maher the other day.
I saw a couple clips.
Well, the one I'm talking about is where we had just had the shooting at the Kansas City Chiefs game, or not the game, at the parade for the
Yeah.
And Bill Maher says, we don't know anything about the shooter. And Ann says, well, we know one thing about him. And her point was that, if it had been a white guy, they would have said it. And Bill and his audience and his other guests were like, sure. We've gotten to a point in the media where we can predict things like this. If you can read 3 articles about an event like a shooting and they don't mention the shooter was white, they weren't white because that's like their go-to thing. John Smith, a white guy, shot up a bunch of people.
Yeah, fucking whitey. He's out there with his pasty skin.
Tyrone Washington shot up a bunch of people. You know what I mean? They don't go Tyrone Washington, a black man, shot up a bunch of people.
No, it's Tyrone Washington, race unavailable.
Yeah. It's just gotten to the point where if there's stuff left out, like nobody thought to actually go and talk to the principal about, well, maybe the principal wouldn't talk to him, but even other students be like, hey, what actually happened here? They do it for all kinds of other stuff, but in this case, there wasn't a single critical eye in the media on this story. In literally to the point where they're, instead of paying attention to the stories, here's everything we know about this case. And the first 3 paragraphs, only one part of it had anything to do with her. It's that easy to see this stuff and go like, you know what? Maybe I'm going to hold off comment until we know a little bit more.
You monstrous freak. What are you doing? No, you have to get angry and be like, they murdered this LGBT. This is Matthew Shepard all over again. Even though Matthew Shepard was a drug deal gone bad.
Yes, that's enough. Matthew Shepard is probably the biggest LGBT lie that was ever told when it comes to hate crimes.
It still is.
Yeah, if you go look up Matthew Shepard, and you'll hear that he died because he was a gay man, and instead, it was a drug deal that went wrong. Whoopsie. Maybe being a drug dealer is a bad idea.
Yeah, but seems like that could shorten your lifespan a little.
But boy, did we get lots of quilts for Matthew and all kinds of nonsense about that. Gay man died.
They did like 2 TV movies and so tiresome.
Hey, at least we got that hilarious PSA out of Matt Shepard. Yeah. But it's still the lie is still ongoing.
Yeah, that's the problem, is the rewriting history in real time. This is a new story, and they've already determined the narrative, even though the facts aren't in. We don't know how this girl died, but that's not going to stop them from linking it to libs of TikTok randomly and the bathroom fight.
Yeah, we do know now, though, that it wasn't the fight that caused it because there was no trauma that caused it.
Yeah.
Every one of those news publications needs to issue a major correction to their reporting.
And they won't.
They won't, no. California substitute teacher left elementary school students in tears after watching inappropriate images.
Oh, those bastards.
This guy was watching porn in front of like 3rd graders or 1st graders. I forget how old they were. I stopped sharing screen. Whoops.
Yeah,
I meant to stop sharing screen. I just forgot I had. California substitute teacher was removed from his classroom after viewing inappropriate images in front of his elementary students. A traumatic event that left several students in tears. West Covina Unified School District Superintendent Emmy Flores Said the disturbing incident occurred sometime before noon Friday, shortly before a concerned parent called Cameron, elementary school, demanding to know why her
Cameroon.
son had what?
You said Cameroon like a macaroon.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, it's funny.
She got a call from her kid demanding to know, or called the school demanding to know why her son had called her sobbing. So the student calls, they were so traumatized, they literally called their parents, going, "Mom, this dude's watching porn in school." Why are teachers like this now?
Because we have a lot of pedophiles in the teaching profession.
The substitute teacher who's not been named was ordered to leave the classroom while Fullerton, this is the principal, tried to reassure the traumatized children before ultimately bringing them to the on-site mental wellness room. The fuck is an on-site mental wellness room?
It's a safe space. There's probably like some stuffed animals and coloring books. And how old are these kids? Like 18, 19?
I forget. Where's the? I know they say it in here. I'm not sure. I want to say they were like 8-year-olds, but I don't see it here.
Oh, 8-year-olds. Teachers love them 8-year-olds.
My first question when I saw it was, is Voss trying to teach now?
Right?
Don't care about that one. I'm just showing this one because it's funny as shit and it made me laugh. And it's true. Sorry, Canada. Says if tampons in the men's bathroom were a person, and it's a picture of Trudeau.
He's such a douche.
Tell me that's not accurate, though, right?
Right? Like,
I mean, it's pretty accurate.
Why is it every time we see him, he looks like the kid that would tattle on you for like innocuous stuff?
Because he is. I mean, you can look at him and see what a little bitch he is. Do I care about that one? We talked a little bit about the National Multiple Sclerosis Society firing that 90-year-old for not using the right pronouns.
Yeah, it was fucking stupid.
Well, they came out and apologized, except not really.
For discriminating against an elderly lady.
The National Multiple Sclerosis Society apologizes to our longtime dedicated volunteer, Fran Itkoff. Recently, we asked Fran to step down from her role as a group leader because of statements made that we viewed as not aligning with our recently implemented DEI policy. We realize now that we made a mistake and we should have had more conversations with Fran before making the decision.
We should have had some extra steps before we fired her.
Yes, that's exactly what this is. Over her 60 years of volunteer service, Fran had been a committed champion of our cause. We had an opportunity to work with her and support her as a self-help group volunteer leader, but as an organization, we fell short. While we acted at the time with the best of intentions, we did not have clear protocols in place. We should have spent more time with Fran to help her understand why, as an organization, we are dedicated to, it's literally re-education.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
We are dedicated to building a diverse and inclusive environment where people have equitable access to care, connections, and support.
Yeah, we still would have fired her because she's a filthy bigot, but we should have tried to retrain her. And then when that failed, we could fire her then. Yeah, I'm sorry that she is just not up to par with our new DEI initiative, but those type of people we don't need around.
Yeah. Yes, Faithless, that's exactly it. We forgot the struggle session. This isn't, hey, we were wrong for firing a woman for using the proper pronouns for somebody. A woman who dedicated 60 years of her life running a volunteer group to help people with MS. No. Their mistake was in not badgering her about it more.
For fuck's sake. Hey, check the side chat for me, will you?
It's so insane.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know. AP, you want to hang out? How was your show this evening, my friend? The Borderlands trailer dropped, and I almost cried.
Yeah, is it that bad?
It's horrible. It is horrible. And if you've ever played, guys, Borderlands is a video game. I'm a big fan of the series. While I thought 3 kind of dropped off, I still enjoyed playing 3. I had fun in Tiny Tina's Wonderland game. I like the whole thing, but I don't know what they were trying to do with this movie. One, they have Kevin Hart playing Roland. Now that probably doesn't mean anything to you.
Is this a game or a movie?
It's a movie based on the game.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah, it stars Kevin Hart and Jamie Lee Curtis and somebody way too old to be playing Lilith. I forget who the chick is playing her, but the game series itself is very juvenile humor.
Yeah.
And it kind of looks like instead of going with that, they tried to go with the Hollywood version of this. They tried to clean it up and still try to make it, the I hate using this word because we used it so much yesterday, edgy humor, and it just fails. It just fails constantly.
Well, it's
I kind of want to watch it, but I don't want to get hit. I don't want to get hit for copyright, so we can't. But I'll throw it into chat for anybody who wants to watch this garbage themselves. And you don't have to do this. It's already written for you. Why do they keep doing this?
Change it.
But it's already written for you.
Nope, change it. It's not good enough.
That's Kate Blanchett. She looks horrible. She looks absolutely horrible as Lilith, man. She's way too. Lilith is not in her late 40s, which is what this looks like. Here's the person playing Lilith. Look at how bad she looks.
It looks like she had a lot of plastic surgery.
She has.
Oh.
But yeah, this movie it looks so bad. And it sucks because
like generic nerd girl. I mean,
well, that's what they're going for, right?
Yeah, it's lame though. There's nothing. I don't know.
They have Tiny Tina in this, which in the first one, she's not even in the game. In the second one, you meet her and she's crazy because she's had to live on her own after her parents have died. And she's all about making bombs and blowing shit up. AP, it's been a long time, my friend.
Yeah, I know, man. A whole day. This is the most we've hung out ever.
It really is. It absolutely is. How you doing tonight, man?
Oh, pretty good, man. Finished the show. Came over here to see what you were doing, and yeah, you're talking about the I guess genderqueer person who was beaten in a bathroom. They got in a fight with a couple of girls. Non-binary.
Yeah.
I have a question. This shit happens in urban schools to black kids all the time. Where was all your sympathy then? Rachel Maddow looking chick who reported on this and tries to blame libs of TikTok for some shit she absolutely wasn't involved in. Where is your heart for all the little black kids that get jumped out there?
They don't give a shit.
That happens in the hood all the time.
We don't
talk about that. Black people are perfect.
If black people want to be, cared about, they all need to come out as non-binary.
I mean, the bottom line is what I learned from the riots is that black lives only matter when like white people kill them. So I don't want black lives to matter because I don't want white people to kill them.
It's not just that though. Black lives only matter when you can get ratings off of it.
Yes. I think that tells you everything you need to know about what it really is a media campaign, not necessarily anything. I remember I was talking to a friend of mine in real life, a black guy who, not that I'm being like, I have a black friend, but his only demand of the whole thing was, I don't want my kids to have to play by a different set of rules to not get shot if they get pulled over for speeding. That was his only demand. That was the only thing he really wanted. No, all this defund the police and rioting. The black people I know didn't ask for any of that. And that seems pretty fucking reasonable if you ask me, So
yeah,
it is. It's white liberal women that do all this shit. It's college age young white and Latina women that are in academia and believe that they have a sense of moral superiority because they're smarter because a professor is feeding them lies. The thing about having these liberal professors is now they have citations as fact that are absolute bullshit. They can cite a professor and just shut you down because they're citing an academic. And then they call you a science denier when you don't buy it, but they don't realize that the soft sciences don't even qualify you to like change the oil on my car.
Yeah.
Right.
This is why we need common sense white woman reform. I've been an advocate of that for years now.
For a long time, I think we could put our ideas together, Monkey. That, and I have the idea to institute that. All men of all races, religions, and creeds need to put our differences aside until we put these women back in their place.
Yeah.
What do you think, boys?
I think that's a given. But I don't know if you noticed this, but they're using Fight Club rules. Because until you die, you're not actually a person. Your life doesn't matter. So in death, you get a name.
And that name is Ali Shabazz Johnson.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, but they don't care about black kids in the hood until they're dead.
No,
so so they can stand on their corpse.
And they didn't care about this little queer girl until something happened to her. When she just she threw some water on some black girls or something like that. I don't know what happened.
They haven't told us what color the other girls were.
Of course not, because it's hard to prove a right-wing motivation with 3 fucking black girls. But statistically speaking, a 3-on-1 jumping in a girl's bathroom, I'm not saying I'm a black people. Just statistically speaking, that typically happens a little more with y'all, doesn't it?
It wasn't a 3-on-1. It was a 3-on-2. And
that's almost fair.
It's almost fair, yeah. And again, she did start the fight. If she hadn't thrown water on them, no fight happens.
Oh, well, keep your hands to yourself, queer. Not really. Yeah. I don't think any child should be, beaten in a school, but
of course not.
That being, I don't think anyone's on the other side of that issue. That being said,
but you're a parent. Your kid comes home and tells you, "Dad, I got beat up at school today after I threw water at somebody."
I mean, is she dying? Like
no,
like in the story? Oh, okay.
Just normal.
Black eye.
Got beat up, and they tell you that they threw water on him. Are you going to be like, "Oh, I'm so sorry you got beat up," or you'd be like, "Shouldn't have thrown water at him, jackass"?
Why were you throwing water at that person? I would say it's not okay that you. Well, in the case that you physically assaulted them, I can't say. If it was just words, I'd say, that's not okay, because you don't want to teach kids to respond to words with violence. But no, you threw water on them, so you attacked this person.
Yeah,
they gave you a black eye. Well, I guess you learned not to attack people today, didn't you?
My mom would have kicked my ass for that, because that would have been me starting the fight. My mom would have spanked me for starting a fight like that.
Parents today are insecure, and they are legit afraid their children will hate them. They want to be their kid's friend. They don't want to be parents. Our parents didn't give a fuck if we hated them. They knew in the end we would love and respect them, and we would grow into healthy adults and look back and say, "Oh, I understand why you set those rules." Parents today don't do that.
Well, most of society, we have just a dumbass society now. I mean, if you read this story with everything we know, the one story that we read just there, from Teen Vogue, they have all of the information in there, but they still present it as though this child was targeted because of libs of TikTok and the bathroom bill.
Well, the rules are different for the alphabet community. You're allowed to strike out with violence, but the other people are not.
That's exactly true. I have a citation for that, actually. I tried to send to you in the chat, but you were doing the show.
Yeah,
nobody catches all the chats. Is it in the side chat?
Oh,
yeah.
All right. Yeah. If you look at that, look at the last paragraph of that. That was written by an author named Laura Reyna. This is the person who wrote the blog trying to accuse me of being a white supremacist terrorist leader who was going to go and like murder pedophiles in Austin or some shit.
Dude, you have so much time on your hands.
Then she had to, it was ridiculous. It was so ridiculous. She's horribly embarrassed about it and took it down off the internet. But this is another piece of her work that's in transgriot.com. Read just the last paragraph of that, if you would.
This renaming would better signal the ongoing solidarity that trans and queer communities have with others who punch Nazis. The year 2024 is primed for more Hitler's fan club to emerge from the woodwork. When combating TERFs, The wolves who try to hide in our midst, we would do well to remember our roots in collective outrage and throwing bricks. God damn.
This is a feminist queer activist for the trans community who believes that if a woman wants to have a woman's bathroom for women, you should hit her in the head with a brick because she talks too fucking much and she's a Nazi.
Hey,
how feminist is that?
We learned yesterday that sometimes good things come from throwing bricks.
Yeah, well, that's true. That's true.
Yeah,
Sometimes. Yeah, it is.
It's all connected. Jesus Christ.
What if that person was going to become Hitler? It just comes back down to that same thing. She's right. What if they were going to become Hitler? Her and Vaush sitting in a tree.
Let me assure you, while I don't generally support words leading to violence, there are things you can say to me that would make me hit you.
If you call me a fucking Nazi, I'm going to respond like a black guy getting called that a different N-word. I'm going to respond with violence if you call me a Nazi in real life.
I'm not always against it. And frankly, in this case, with that girl, she rightfully got suspended for 2 weeks for starting the fight. They don't tell us what happened to the other girls. My guess would be they probably got suspended too, because most schools these days have a zero tolerance fighting policy. Even if you get hit, you're not allowed to hit back. But that's where this all should have ended. They had a fight, even if it was because of name calling or whatever, it's over.
What do the parents have to say? We're hearing a lot from people that have never met this girl and are just running their mouths because they want to use this to attack their perceived political enemies. The thing about that community is they don't have the political enemies they think they have, these Nazis, these alt-right people, and they use that language. I know the alt-right doesn't exist, but they don't. They still are stuck in 2016.
Fucking
they don't
Black Romeo.
These
in chat, he says, real quick, her and Vaush sitting in a tree throwing bricks at you and me.
That's right.
Yes.
In the multiverse, waiting to hit that guy who was going to become Hitler.
Yeah, the problem with this is the advocacy. Again, guys, I don't care if you're gay, but gay and trans activists need to just go away. They are bad people.
I dare say if you want to have sex with a man, being gay is a positive benefit for you.
Yeah, it's probably what you want to do, honestly.
Yeah. If you're into having sex with guys, being gay is the way to go. Nobody's saying don't be gay. Just don't be a radical terrorist, psychotic activist. Those people are weird. We need to put them all in a cage in the ocean and just push it off the pier into the sunset.
Don't stand on the grave of dead kids to push an agenda. This had nothing to do with her getting beat up for being non-binary. You know, you asked about the parents, and I have my own theories, but all we do know is that that Nex, that's the dead kid, was being raised by her grandmother who had adopted her. Now,
I remember seeing that in the story tonight on the show too, and that kind of made me feel some kind of way. Like, okay, where's mom and dad?
I have some guesses about where they might be.
In a category labeled unfit.
I was thinking, maybe having some artwork that Vaush would like.
Oh, yeah, it's possible.
I mean, that used to be a more significant statistical reality until it became a social trend. You know what I mean? Like,
if it wasn't for the fact that parents were missing from the home, I would go on that. But you add things together, right?
Yeah, or she was an obnoxious, crazy girl who suddenly came home and said she had a different gender, and the parents were like, this is just another theory. We don't know, by the way. I'm not like contradicting you. And the parents were like, hey, we've known you since you were literally born. And no, you weren't born as a boy inside. You were a ballerina Barbie and Barbie Dream House girl, and you were a cheerleader as a kid, and you wanted to do dance and all that. And suddenly you met these friends at school, and now you're like, what, non-binary? We don't believe in that. So the little girl thinks this is the most devastating thing in the world, even though it's no different from our parents being like, we don't like Marilyn Manson. Don't listen to that. Like as a teenager, this kind of shit shatters you when your current trend is under attack by your parents. If you remember, so maybe then she decided to go to grandma because grandma was more accepting. Grandmas are usually nicer.
Yeah, and that's the thing. If you're not wrong. If you listen to what the grandmother taught, because the grandmother has lots of quotes out there, all of it is just like acceptance. I didn't realize how bullied they were. The only reason you're saying how bullied they were is because they died after this fight. She said, I told her just to ignore them, is what she basically said. And that
That's
was the
grandma
right advice.
Yeah, that's grandma advice. That's exactly what a grandma would tell you. Just ignore them.
Yeah, because grandma grew up in a much tougher time when it was like, oh, shut up, just words.
Yeah, when you would come home after getting a beating and your father would just kick you out of the house and be like, we don't allow losers in this house, little girl. You go back and go get me a scalp.
Well, they were on an Indian reservation, so that might have actually happened.
Oh, I think that made me racist.
A little bit. Whoops.
All right. Well, it's not the first time.
Accidental racism happens all the time around here because I sometimes refer to myself as monkey and then say things that don't go well with modern sensibilities, and I don't even catch it. So it's all right.
I just realized I was being insensitive with my Shock the Monkey segment every time somebody gets tased and the cops tase somebody and I play Shock the Monkey. I'm terribly sorry about that.
No, you're not.
No, and I never will be, but it's a courtesy.
It's a courtesy to say so.
Yeah, we call this a professional courtesy. We say this shit backstage and then go on and still do it anyway.
Now, my favorite one, I one time told Sat. Do you know who Satsu is?
I run into Satsu. Yes.
Yeah. So he's a black YouTuber, and I once said that eventually I'll turn him into a monkey, talking about turning him into me. But I said I was going to turn a black guy into a monkey, and it's like,
Do that in public, huh? No.
I thought that was hilarious.
Oh, it was hilarious. It's just it happens. It modern sensibilities. We don't even have to try to be edgy anymore. You can do it on accident.
Yeah, it's not even really edgy. It's just sad.
Anything can be racist if you're stupid enough, and the consequences of quote. Today, it's not cancel culture is kind of cooling off a little bit, I think. But there was a time when people were, if someone called you that could ruin your life.
Yeah,
you get thrown out of your job, all that shit. So people were afraid to say stuff back. Now it's a little bit different. We got these motherfuckers on their heels a little bit, and they know that Trump's coming back in November, and there ain't shit they're going to do about that. So a lot of them this time, it's weird because this time there's the extremist anti-Trump people, and then there's the other 70% of the country like, shut the fuck up. And their ranks are thinning by the day. It's almost like the 80s when it was time for Reagan to come in after the hippies cooled down. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. I've often compared Trump coming into office to Reagan coming into office because they are so similar. Hey, Jack, will you do me a favor and pull up a story on Nina Brown for us?
Nino Brown? He's back.
No, Nina.
Oh, okay.
If you're not familiar with this story, it's excellent. I want to cover it. I want to make sure we get it tonight. But before we do that, I want to bring up this. Now, I'm not getting into an argument over the Palestine-Israel shit. Don't care where you fall on it.
Good for you.
But this video pissed me off. It is a little Palestinian girl who's talking about how horrible her life is right now and how all of her friends are dying and the war is so bad and stuff. Just based on this picture, can anybody see the propaganda?
Yes.
It's not even subtle. This is a Palestinian girl who doesn't speak English wearing a brand new Flower Power sweatshirt. And it's written in English.
I will hope, for the purpose of hoping for good things for children, that came off an aid truck yesterday, because I would hate to think that they were stupid enough to be like, we are in this war zone and we're going to garner pity, but first let's put a nice new shirt and lapel mic on you so it doesn't look that bad. I'm going to hope, as much as this may not be true, that just came off an aid truck.
Okay, you say you're going to hope that. Give it an odds. What are the odds of that?
Oh, like less than 10%. I'm clinging to hope because after my show, I need a little humanity. You know what I mean?
Oh, I feel you. Is that pearls on her? She's wearing a kid's bracelet. Yeah. I just saw this going around and everybody's like, look at how adorable this is. Even the children see it. I'm like, and you don't see the clear propaganda in your face.
I don't want to see children hurt. Nobody does. I don't think anyone's on the other side of that issue.
Is flower power a big phrase in what do they speak? Arabic?
That's why I'm really hoping it came off an aid truck from somewhere else. I'm hoping.
And it just happened to be the girl they put on.
Okay, Monkey, this is a sound set in Burbank. All right. Okay, dude, it's a sound set in Burbank, all right? It's where they filmed the moon landing.
I believe that this is in Gaza. I have no doubt about that, but somebody purposefully brought this hippie shit to this child to put on camera.
I'm not going to say the phrase crisis actor, but might be thinking it a little bit.
Yeah, it's amazing. There's part of this where there's another little kid running around, and he's got a shirt on with writing on it, and it's all in Arabic.
Can you pop that back up for a second just so I can point one thing out that's really insensitive of them?
Absolutely, absolutely.
She's not wearing a hijab.
No, it's even worse. Those flowers look like bullet holes. I'm just saying. I didn't want to say it. I debated on it. I sat here quietly, like, don't mention it. Don't mention it, man. It's a little kid. Right. But in the end, they made it look like they shot her twice. Come on.
They could be sunny side up eggs too.
Okay, they threw food on her after they shot her.
Yeah, that's all the food she's gonna have for a week.
I was actually told I have low IQ for noticing the propaganda there, and like, wow, you get a vote.
Real quick question, AP, do you have a link that you want people to donate to?
I would like, while I'm here, people to, if they'd like to ask me a specific question or something like that, I would prefer, if it doesn't insult anybody's honor, to for you to send that through Monkey or send that through Jack and let them carry that message. This is their show. I'm just a guest here, and I make all my money before this show even comes on. I'm perfectly fine, but I thank you for honoring me with asking.
Well, you're such a gentleman.
Yeah. You get a bad rap, AP.
Yeah. No, I'm an ass. I really am an asshole most of the time. I get it all out on my show, and then afterwards, I'm very pleasant. You're catching me in like the good hours.
See,
the post nut clarity.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is.
It's been my experience that humorous people, especially if they tend towards the edgy, if you deal with them either privately or out of their, let's say for you a show, they tend to be the nicest people because everybody's like, oh, he's probably burning crosses right now. No, he's a nice guy. He just sees stupid and calls it out.
Yeah, you vent and then you're fine.
He laughs at silly shit. It's not that big of a deal. Did you happen to find anything on Nina Brown for us?
Yeah. Real quick though, let me grab a super chat here. Thank you, Evolved Potato. To be fair, this could be some clothing that was stolen when they invaded and massacred all those people, including children, on September 7th. That's a fair point. This could have been loot.
It could have
taken
been
from some short Americans stuff. Also, thank you, Keldrick. Sorry I missed this one. This was after I left earlier. I don't have any thoughts. THOTS. I don't make that kind of money. Yeah, neither do I, buddy. I gotta get the discount whores. All right. Now, Monkey, did you want the link for this, or do you want me to read it?
Could you send me the link? You can read it if you want. I want to bring it up on the screen.
No, hell no. If you're gonna bring it up, you can read it. Fucking lazy.
AP, have you heard about this small town gangsta in Illinois?
Let me take a look here. It's wanting me to allow ads. So. I get it. I covered her tonight. Yeah.
Oh, did you?
This bitch right here is having bars shut down. Fox News went to 2 bars in her town. This is in Dalton, right? DOLTON.
Yeah,
Illinois.
Dalton.
I believe so. Yeah.
I remember the name because when I said the 2 bars were shut down in Dalton, all of us immediately were like, "It ain't that easy to shut down a bar in Dalton's town. Haven't they seen Roadhouse?" But it was not that. It was DOLTON. If it had been Dalton there, they never would have shut those bars down. Yeah, this fucking mayor is dirty as shit, dude. We've
been putting off talking about her for like a week.
Yeah, and then she's shutting down bars of people that don't contribute to her. She had 2 bars raided in that town. Fox News went, their local Fox affiliate went to the bars to go interview them before they could air it. Just by coincidence, both of those bars had their licenses pulled and were raided by local PD. I can send you the stories, man.
Oh, this chick has so much dirt. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, Nina Brown.
That's her.
By the way, Nina Brown is not her actual name, guys. That's a reference to New Jack City for you youngins out there.
That's why I was wondering if Nino Brown was back.
Yeah, in the form of Tiffany Henyard.
None.
I think Monkey's internet did the thing again.
Oh. Monkey?
What?
Oh. You started to
Can
say
you not
something.
hear me?
Yeah, I can hear
Hello?
you now.
You're back.
Yeah.
You're good.
I didn't say anything though.
Oh, I thought you did. My bad.
No.
There was confusion.
It happens
Anyway,
a lot on this show.
You want to give us the rundown there, Jack?
Yeah, so this woman, we're looking at the Daily Mail article first because it's the funniest of them and the most in depth. She was the first female mayor of a tiny Illinois village, and she's accused of shutting down businesses that refuse to donate to her campaign. So she's a 40-year-old who dresses like a 1990s gangster
From Hollywood.
Yeah. Is accused of using her official position within the town to retaliate against those who do not comply with her wishes, the New York Post revealed. Well, the Post has been pretty good about covering this. Not as good as the local stations, but the local stations that you get little snippets. So what did she do? Well, she did shut down 2 bars. You can scroll down. Nino Brown is the next picture, by the way.
Really?
I don't know if it's loading though is the problem because I'm on the AT&T and the pictures load slow.
Oh, lame.
Yeah. So we'll just leave Nina on the screen there.
All right, so let me read a little bit of this Daily Mail article. One resident, Lawrence Gardner, claimed that Haywood forced the closure of his trucking business after he refused to renew a $3,500 contribution to her political fund. I made the payment, then every year she started coming and required the same thing, and we had a problem with that. Who is she? Nino Brown, he said. Anything she wants done, she gets them to harass you. She likes nobody. If you're not doing what she say, if you're not doing how she's saying to do it, you're a problem. She don't like them. Residents and former officials accuse Henwood and Police Chief Lewis Lacey of obstructing local businesses that failed to make required payments. Not mafia tactics at all. Trustee Kiana Belcher alleges that former police chief Robert Collins admitted to being directed by the mayor to target individuals. The mayor's under investigation for allegedly misusing public funds for personal expenses and utilizing law enforcement to suppress opposition. Earlier this month, she was slammed by her critics at a public meeting after she caused outrage by taking a $300,000 salary. Now, she's also a trustee on the township board, where she pulls in like $287,000.
Wow.
Henwood.
I just said, wow, you didn't have to stop for that.
Wow. She was elected leader of Dalton, a village of 20,000 in 2021, but has come under fire for excessive spending. They were a positive $5 million, and now they're at a negative of, I believe, $6 million. Just in 3 years.
Shocking.
Yeah, I know, I'm shocked. This is her defense, though, when she was accused of this at a board meeting. You all should be ashamed of yourselves because you're all black. You all are black, and you are sitting up here beating and attacking a black woman that's in power. She said this was last Monday at a meeting. You should all be ashamed of yourselves. Not I needed to spend this money for anything. No. She just was like, but I'm black.
Yeah, like protect me on black, yo.
Yeah. So it's been revealed that she and other officials spent more than $67,000 on trips to Portland, Austin, Atlanta, and New York City on the village's dime.
Wow.
She's been using their credit card for this and flying first class, by the way.
Oh, of course. I mean, I'm not flying coach on stolen money, dude. That's like raping an ugly girl.
You
have a choice of everything. Why would you settle?
Yeah. Well, go big or go home. Her team spent $13,000 in public money while in New York. Apparently that was not on the hotels, which were 5-star.
This bitch thinks she's Al Capone, man. She thinks he's a real Chicago gangster. She's extorting people with their businesses, having lavish crib, and she's employing her friends as her personal security guards. Man,
yeah.
Woo. She is dirty as shit. I can't believe she's getting away. How do you get away with this? So the FBI is investigating her right now. Oh wow,
As they should be.
She's fucked. but the unearned confidence and ego on these people. And I don't mean black people. I mean like politicians, man. Before people start being, what do you mean these people? I've never understood how it gets that bad. I've had a little bit of an ego in my past, man. I've had a little bit of, of an unearned, at times, yeah, I'll admit I'm not perfect, but never once did I think I could just operate as a gangster in broad daylight and be a mayor. This is wow.
Did you hear about the police cars, AP?
Because the selling of the police cars?
Yeah, the company they were buying the police cars from, she didn't write the payment checks for months. So they were going to repo 13 village vehicles, 6 of which were police cruisers.
What happened in the end?
The council ended up cutting a check and putting it on automatic payments.
You damn right.
Yeah.
So in 2022, Illinois Secretary of State Police investigated a complaint against Tiffany Hayward. This is from WGN. She serves as both mayor of Dolton and Thornton Township supervisor. Because she misused police license plates was what kicked off this investigation. And she tried to create a Thornton Township Police Department where one doesn't exist. So they installed police lights on 2 vehicles they purchased under the township's direction. And according to records obtained by WGN, a township employee had admitted to lying to the Secretary of State to get the plates because police plates are special order.
But she was black at that time, right?
Yes, she was still black.
Yeah, that's cool.
He stated he told the lady behind the counter that Thornton Township was a police department, and he admitted subsequently that he knew it wasn't true. Eventually, the Secretary of State pulled the plates and demanded them back and demanded they remove the lights and sirens from these vehicles, although it's unclear if they actually did that.
And I'm just asking again
Oh, go ahead. You first.
I was just going to ask again, just for the purposes of, I don't want to make any mistakes here. She was black when she did that too.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I'm afraid there's nothing you can do, man.
Well, she was pro police as a black woman. That might be frowned upon these days. Although she was creating her own private police force. So that's interesting.
Yeah, I don't know if you heard what the nice lady said a little while ago, but she's black, which means that she can do whatever she wants.
Yeah, well, I mean, how dare you, as other black people, attack a black woman in charge?
Yeah, she's a black lady in power. That means she can do things.
There we go. I like that picture of her. How is she not in jail yet?
I don't know.
How's the guy who falsified government records to get license plates not in jail?
I don't know, but the police chief is apparently on her side with a lot of this. Because he's saying there was no threat of repossession vehicles. He's downplaying all this as false narrative. But yeah, the Kansas State Bank sent the letter threatening to repossess the vehicles. And that was kind of a big deal because she's been pissing away millions of dollars.
I like her cashmere Santa Claus coat.
Right?
Yeah, Dalton is a town of 21,426 people, according to the last census. Yeah. And she's making $300K just as mayor.
Do you know what she did before this, by the way?
I'm guessing stripping.
Hair.
No, good guesses on both
care?
counts. No, she worked in a burger joint that went out of business.
Oh, we gave her too much credit.
Yeah.
Now you see, people call us racist, but we were trying to give the nice black lady better jobs than what she actually had.
That's true.
Are progressive.
In true ghetto fashion, at one of her, apparently at several government meetings, she hired a DJ to punctuate her points, and she co-opted the police to be.
Wait! You have to tell the song that she used.
I don't remember what it was off the top of my head.
Bitch better have my money.
No.
Oh, yeah.
She did not punctuate her points with bitch better have my money.
Yes, she did.
How? Well, I mean, she also was making music videos and making the police officers be in them.
Why?
And that was racking up overtime for the cops.
Why do they want black people to be a joke?
I don't know. This is just some lazy ghetto trash. But But yeah, she apparently had spent $1 million of police department overtime. $1 million of police overtime. That's insane.
Well, yeah, man. If I was that police chief, I'd probably be on her side too. That says it all, doesn't it?
Yeah, well,
21,000 people, crime hasn't gone up, and you get all these extra hours just to sit around, watch TV, bullshit. She's greasing the wheels. This bitch is a gangster. She's greasing those cops, and she's doing it with their actual salary. She doesn't have to like put them on the take either. So it's even better.
Yeah.
Do you think like she was like an 8-year-old little girl at home, and her dad had been watching, some New Jack City, and she's like, I'm gonna be like him when I grow up?
I don't know, man. I know that all whores were once sweet, cute little girls, and something goes wrong at some point. So
yeah,
I blame Wesley Snipes for this.
I blame
Libs of TikTok, man.
Yeah, Libs of TikTok clearly had something to do with this. Real quick, thank you, Frosted. If I've learned anything from Benedict Nex, it's that the Palestinian girl's bullet wounds will kill her tomorrow.
Yes.
And thank you, Evolved. There was also a bit about how she's trying to or did put in law that anyone that would replace her as mayor would only get a $25,000 salary, just to dissuade anyone from trying to replace her. I mean, are you shocked?
Okay, we need to agree. This bitch needs to be held accountable. But that being said, kind of impressed.
I
impressed
kind
on
of respect
balls
the game.
on you. The balls on you, bitch. I am impressed.
I'm impressed that she hasn't been booted out by now, because the city council is apparently very weak.
They're all on the take, dude. She's got them all. She's doubled their fucking salaries, bro.
Yeah,
they're in on it.
It sounds like there's like 2 legitimate people, and everybody else is just like, "Oh, I get money out of it."
How big is? Let me ask you this: how big is a police force in a town of 21,000? How many active duty cops do you think they got in a town of 21,000?
It's going to be like 2 or 3 full timers and a bunch of part timers.
I'd say maybe 20, 30 in the whole department, right? Tops, and I'm giving them a lot of credit. Yeah. How many times is that? How many millions of dollars in overtime pay?
1 million in overtime alone.
And how does that divide? Let's just say 20. Let's just say it's 20 cops come in between us. How does that divide out? How much extra money did each cop get that year?
I'll do that. I'm not good at story problems.
I'll figure it out. Give me a second.
Sorry, I was trying to find out if I could see how many police are there.
You could probably Google it.
I am, and it's not coming up directly.
Just on average, if they have 20 cops, and they all got the same amount of overtime, which I'm not saying they did, but just to average, make the math easy. Each cop got $50,000 extra that year.
That's
how much do you think they're
making? Change.
Yeah, especially if you're only making $50,000 to begin with. She's doubled your salary. Of course they're on her side. Of course they're rating people on her behalf. They all made 50 fucking grand. She's paying them just like a gangster would.
Well, and they know they get qualified immunity, so if those raids go south, and it turns out it's totally unconstitutional, they could be like, well, we didn't know. We were told to do that.
What are you going to do? Bust the cops for being on the take? That's their overtime salary. That's in the union, motherfucker.
The mayor ordered
Don't make us strike. This is gangster shit. Don't make us strike. Police union says you can't take our overtime.
She also had an inauguration party, which was $15,000 that she said her campaign would pay for, and then charged it to the village.
Well, I mean... At this point, if I was her, I'd just be literally charging everything because nobody's stopping
her. She wanted to have a Valentine's Day party at the ice rink. So the rink was built in 2022 when she went over the heads of the village board and ordered it to be built on public land at a cost of $115,000, putting down a $10,000 deposit. Well, it turns out the board found out and halted the payments, so she went around them and hired somebody else and had him do it really fast.
Oh, Black Romeo, that is a good point. He says, wait. This sounds like a real-life Robin Hood. That's Robin with the Y-N. Same shit, degenerate black lady stealing from innocent people while making music videos gloating about it. Yes, she's Robin Hood.
That show is so fucking horrible.
That show was amazing. How dare you?
Oh, shit. I just got the reference you guys were pulling. I forgot they even tried that crap.
Oh. That show is fucking amazing, dude.
I didn't watch it. I think we watched the trailer for it on late night one time.
It's so bad. It's a Canadian show, so what do you expect?
I'm glad it turned out just as shitty as I was sure it would, dude.
It really was.
Did you know this woman also has a cancer foundation?
Is she stealing from that too?
No, but the town is donating 10 grand to it.
Of course.
That's nothing compared to 10 grand. Okay.
Well, I mean, that's just one payment that we know of. I'm sure it's a monthly thing.
Well, yeah, guys, we've been putting off this story for a few days with other things going on, but this woman, I'm with you, AP. It's almost impressive. And there's an old saying that says fortune favors the bold. And the reason for that is often because people just stand around going, I can't believe you would even do that.
Yeah, like there's no way this could be what it looks like. No one would be that bold about it.
Well, right. Yeah, she has the cops run her errands. They pick up her kid from school. They drop her off. They take the woman shopping. They take her kid shopping. She bought extra police cars specifically so they could do that. It's really impressive. Like, this is next level gangster shit.
This is like shit you would hear about from like the 1920s, not the 2020s.
Yeah, this is like old school Tammany Hall kind of thing.
Yeah. She does look like a female Nino Brown. She did that on purpose.
Yeah, that's her thing.
She's not even hiding it. Look how gangsta I am. She played bitch better have my money at meetings to punctuate a point.
Yeah, and they elected her.
Think
about the people in this town.
I might vote for her if I didn't have to live there. If I'm being honest, like, yeah, you kind of earned a vote. You're going to prison.
She is very female Camacho.
Yeah, she need to put her dick away. She really does.
like dial it back just a few notches. Probably would have got away with it longer. You don't want to ruin the grift by going too big.
Right.
Well, I mean, she's not indicted or anything yet. She's not even recalled yet.
I don't know.
There's literally no reason right now for her to stop being how she's being.
No. She's being, she's, it's kind of like when they were, early in the ceasefire calling, I was like, you're going to have to give Israel a reason for a ceasefire.
Yeah.
You're going to have to give them some reason that benefits them, not just, okay, stop a war. Like they don't want to. You're going to have to give them some reason. Nino Brown here isn't going to stop until you give her a reason. What do you expect her? She's going to keep doing this shit. You're letting her get away with it.
Yeah, troubling times we live in.
I'm just glad something, the world got bad enough to where when I had a chronic medical condition, I could not fear death. I could be like, well, I lived through the good times, man. It's been downhill since about 2013 or so, and I'm cool. I'm ready to go.
I guess that's a positive outlook.
When that's the most positive outlook we can get. We were talking about gangsters and kids getting beaten in bathrooms, man. Just a painless death before America crumbles is actually a positive.
Well, speaking of America crumbling, let's switch to some more government corruption.
Good news.
This here is San Francisco's newest election board member.
No, it's not. That's Jilly Juice. Shut up. I've seen her before. That's Jilly Juice. She's out there trying to sell some cabbage and salt water. I watch Jeff Holiday. I know what this bitch is about.
Yeah, let's listen to her talk about elections here in the United States.
咁就其實喺2年前我嚟到三藩市嘅時候
Did I mention she's not a US citizen?
原來三藩市有好多嘅權利㗎喎，好多權利係好多非公民啊、移民咧都可以享有嘅，包括咧就算你唔係公民咧都。
Y'all better learn that language quick.
Look, I'll say it first before anyone else does. I can fix her.
No,
I know you could.
I'm going to take a bold stance on this one. The Chinese are exactly what San Francisco needs. You know what? Give it to China. They will put order to that shit. No time at all. You won't be shitting on that street. You won't be shitting on the street and being a hobo and shooting fentanyl on the street when they start dragging you guys away and you're never seen again.
Yeah, Lisa, you're getting ahead. She's actually an illegal alien.
Oh, I don't doubt it.
She's not even supposed to be in the country, and she's on the election board in San Francisco.
Good. This is exactly what they deserve. I'm taking the bold stance of this is a net positive for America. I think the Chinese will put order to this. They'll be like, I don't care if you gay or you black. Stop doing fentanyl on the street or we kill you. Okay.
Yeah, the Chinese are the ones who just took maybe a year and a half ago now. Like all the girly boys have to come off TV.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know how they stopped? You know how they stopped the opium trade back in the day? They dragged they dragged the dealers, the merchants that were making all the money into the center of town and killed them in front of everybody. Suddenly, nobody wanted opium anymore. All that addiction the next day, people were getting the shakes all over the country, but nobody was trying to sell them any opium.
Yeah, because nobody wants to end up being executed in public. Just ask Malaysia how their drug problem's going, because they don't really have one. Because if you're caught with drugs, they'll take you out back and shoot you.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and it's a bold new world, and I think we need to concede some of our land to China. I think we owe them that, and it should be San Francisco. We should give them an entire American city, and I'm excited to see what the Chinese do with the people that live there. And I'm also excited to see what happens how they feel about all this immigration in America and stuff when they're living on a foreign land.
Yeah, we've been spoiled by being not invaded and not really attacked for a very long time. So
I didn't say attack us. I understand. I understand what you're saying. That's why people are pussies, but they don't even have to attack. I'll sign it over. You want San Francisco? Who wants it? Russia? China? Who wants it? Japan? You wanted a part of a mainland for a while. You want your imperial aspirations back? Yeah, here. Take San Francisco.
I think we should start with a place full of dirtier people that I hate more, like Portland.
I'm willing to give the whole West Coast to another country.
I'd like to subscribe to your newsletter.
That's why I'm kind of casual about it. Yeah, for the most part, we have. I'm willing to just fence it off and watch the animals fight it out on pay-per-view.
Yeah. Oh man, Mexico versus China.
That's exactly what it would be. We haven't had a good land war in a long time.
That's true.
Couple of things real quick. Alan, thank you so much for the donation. Says morning monkey. Good morning, sir. Hope you're well. And it's Mabel's birthday. Around here, AP, we saying you don't have to if you don't want to. But Mabel, sweetheart, what was the age? Did they say 96? Did I see that right?
I believe so.
96? I'll sing for 96.
It's your birthday. Around here, we do this. This one's for you, sweetheart. And a 1 and a 2. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy
birthday to you.
Happy
birthday, dear Mabel.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday
to you.
Happy birthday, Mabel. Hope you have a great one. Really, really do. Man, if I make it to 96, 83. 83 is the age. Still. If I make it to 83, there's going to be people who are losing money on a bet.
Yeah, if I make it to 83, they're going to put me in medical journals, man. So that's totally cool. Good job.
Mine will be titled, How the Fuck?
I'm talking to you all quietly now because I don't want to surprise you out there in the chat too much. Like, good job. I'm really good. Happy birthday.
Yeah, I would be I'd be like, so they haven't found him yet, huh? No, oh yeah, Jack's still missing. We assume he's alive.
All right.
Hang on, let me grab a couple here. Thank you, Alan, for the donations. This is morning, Jack. Good morning, Alan. Hope you're doing well, buddy. And thank you, Evolved Potato. Did you guys know that the San Francisco Chinese Embassy is a known hub for the CCP spying in the western half of the U.S.? Yeah, it's where they got one of those phony police stations.
Yeah, absolutely it is. I used to work with all the consulates. I was in the visa and passport industry. In Houston, China shut down the consulate, and they had a giant paper burning in the middle. They had kind of courtyard in the middle. It's one of those square buildings with a courtyard, and they had a huge burning in the middle of it. They shut down their consulate and got the fuck out of here because we started to investigate some of that. In New York, they actually have a CCP police that monitors their people and disciplines their people out there. We did a story on it a while back.
Yeah, we did that one too.
Yeah, aren't there 2 of them in the U.S. that we know of? Or 3?
Tampa and New York.
Yeah.
And then they suspect there's one in San Diego, and somewhere else, somewhere weird. But he goes on, the only reason it's not shut down is because there's a lot of Chinese around the area, and the FBI don't want to annoy them. that would actually make sense because the tongs hang out there and they like to hatchet people.
Tina says, never thought I'd see 70, and here I am. And we're glad you're here.
Nice.
We got to just do an update on Ukraine. We haven't talked about them in a while. Russia has broken the stalemate in Ukraine. Former U.S. Defense Secretary, this is Robert Gates, who's a douchebag, used to run the CIA as well. And I'm just bringing this up because I'm sorry, all of the propaganda about how well the Ukrainians are doing against the Russians makes me laugh. This is what Coach Red Pill ends up going to jail for originally in Ukraine before, he dies there.
Before they murdered him.
He pointed out that the Ukrainians weren't doing as well as everybody was saying.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, how dare you speak the truth? Why are you telling Putin's lies?
I'm going to be quite honest with you, Monkey. I was pretty neutral on the Ukraine-Russia thing, except for the amount of money we were continuing to contribute. And we signed a treaty. We had to provide them some aid. I think we've done our part. We have fulfilled our promise, and it's time to stop sending them money. I am now like very pro-Russia in this war, and not for any political purposes. If you're on Twitter and you've met anyone with a Doge avatar who has hashtag NAFO in their description, you know why every man, woman, and child in Ukraine should be made to suffer.
I'm not familiar.
And I envy you for that. I'm
with AP on this one.
My stance is that Putin's a shitbag, but so is Zelensky, and this is a border war between them, and none of my fucking business.
Yeah, this is a Europe issue. We should not be involved. Our money shouldn't be involved. It's just a money laundering site for Joe Biden and Hunter Biden.
And wait.
I'm real tired of it not being presented that way.
It's also a money laundering thing for old Zelensky. Never forget when the Pandora Papers come out, also referred to as the Panama Papers. Look it up either way. The government with the most hidden money, specifically with Zelensky's name on it, hidden in third world countries, was Zelensky. But he needs your money to fight this war.
As a Texan, I would look Zelensky right in his fucking eyes and say, I have no concern over your borders or your country until my leadership in my country is concerned with mine.
Yeah.
Well, Before
we can protect my children, I don't give a fuck about yours.
Robert Gates is really mad that people in Congress are like, hey, you got to tie anything to do with Ukraine with real border protection. And he says that passing the package, this is what it says here, would send the message to Russia that, quote, they are not going to be successful in achieving their goals, a necessary step towards a ceasefire, rebuilding Ukraine, and its eventual induction into NATO, he added.
So, that thing that started the war?
That everybody said was not a part of it?
Yeah, that you said would never fucking happen, and it was just Russia being paranoid and all that. Yeah, everyone wants their stated sworn enemies right on their border.
Right.
Enemies that only exist in this organization to militarily attack you. Yeah, that's really comforting to the Russian leadership, I'm sure. I mean, I don't know, man.
We probably would have skipped this article if it wasn't for that last paragraph. Excuse me. But exactly what you pointed out. So many people are like, no, that whole NATO thing is not even real. It absolutely is.
Who says it's not real? It's absolutely real.
No.
Oh, you mean the whole they're gonna bring Ukraine into NATO? Yeah, that's the plan.
It's been the plan for quite some time. Joe Biden was asked about it 6 months before the war. And does anybody remember what Joe Biden said?
I think he said he was it was on the positive side. He said something like, I'm open to it. It was vague but positive.
He said that the reason that they can't be brought in at this point is because they're too corrupt. And that's who we made the third largest military in the world. As far as dollars go, at least.
Monkey, you're being crazy. Just because the Ukrainians were funneling money through FTC, through Sam Bankman-Fried to the Democratic National Committee, verifiably. Look, that's crazy talk. Joe Biden's kid had a bunch of financial interests in this place. Crazy talk. They're corrupt. Really? Please, Monkey. How else would you explain those Chinese biolabs? if they were not above board. I'm sorry, I mean the American biolabs.
I'm sorry that you don't want Russia to find out all that stuff they can blackmail you with because your family was doing illegal business in Ukraine, but
Right.
Right.
that doesn't justify us funding a 10-year long proxy war. So I'm going to ask that we stop sending the money, and whatever the fate of Ukraine is can be Ukraine's. And if they were really concerned about winning the hearts and minds of the West to continue funding their war, maybe all of their little propagandists on Twitter shouldn't be the biggest lying pieces of shit on the planet.
Oh, well, yeah, but then how would we push Russia and China closer together and start doing arms deals with like North Korea and Iran so they can strengthen their economies too? Look, we don't achieve these ends if we don't fight them in Ukraine, right? That's how this works, isn't it?
Right, because Russia was such a threat to us before they attacked Ukraine.
Yeah.
I know they were just on they were just on our doorstep, ready to invade. With us selling them all that goods and them trading all this oil with us, and we had such a terrible relationship that our president was being said to be in their pocket for 4 years. Our relationship was so bad, we were so scared of them. And then they attacked. And excuse me, Zelensky, how many ethnic Russians did you mow down in the Donbass region? I think it is
Donbass
for the last 4 years before the war. How many of them were you genociding?
8 years. 8 years.
Excuse me, 8 years. How many of them did you kill?
Keldrick, thank you. Russia and Ukraine deserve each other. A match made in hell. I didn't mean to interrupt you there, but that's been sitting there for a while. I want to grab that. But yeah, the fighting's been going on since 2014, since the Crimea invasion,
which Obama did nothing about.
Yeah, Ukraine provoked them and provoked them and provoked them and provoked them until they fucking did something, and then they turned around and went like, "Well, you'll remember the Budapest Accord, right? Right? You have to come in and help us. You have to come save our asses. They attacked us. We did nothing." Zelensky, you're a fucking crybaby. I don't respect you. You're a crybaby.
Well, he's probably a CIA plant on top of that. But to use an analogy from earlier in the show, what you're saying is that Ukraine dumped water on their Russian heads.
Yes.
The Russians responded. Wonder how that'll end up.
It was brought up in chat. Where's that at? What? Russia? But I heard Ukraine missiled the fuck out of them with a totally not staged picture. Have you guys seen the stuff he's talking about there?
Yeah, the drones over Moscow and shit.
No.
Or is this new?
This is a new one. Brand, did you comment? I didn't reshare that one. I'm trying to find it on here. Reportedly, 65 Russians were killed in a single Ukrainian rocket launch as they were waiting to meet a general who was coming in.
Ooh.
And
was it an elementary school?
Not exactly. The pictures of these people, I'm trying to find them. I'm so sorry I don't have it ready to go here.
They show prep, monkey.
Well, I wasn't going to talk about it till it got brought up.
Mm-hmm.
Supposedly, these people died from a bomb landing, and they're all just kind of casually laid down like they rolled up to go to sleep.
Yeah, it was one of those. It was a very comforting bomb. It sprinkled cinnamon on them.
Yes,
and sang them a little lullaby. It was a very gentle way to kill people.
They killed them with a bath bomb. Nice.
Yeah, more or less. It was poison gas, but it smelled like lavender. So they just lay down, and took a nap.
Aw.
I don't remember what news outlet I saw it on either.
Fakenews.com.
Oh wait, is this is it? No, that's the Reddit post of it. I don't care about that. Well, we should be able to bring up this picture at least to show you guys what it looks like. All right, there we go. So remember, this is from a bombing. Their rockets fired.
I feel like if you got hit with a bomb, there would be more like severed limbs. You wouldn't have a bunch of guns piled up in the middle. You wouldn't have a nice little pile of weapons. Like, you just dumped a bunch. It looks like you've been captured and then executed, if anything, not bombed. I feel like the ground would be scalded. The ground should have some scalding on it if there was a bomb that went off right there.
I'm glad you said that about the
vegetation should be at least disturbed in some way, shape, or form.
Notice that they blur out the faces, and all of the pictures I've seen from this, the only other thing blurred out was one guy's hand. This doesn't look like a riot. This looks like these people were killed and in a less traumatic way. Let's put it that way.
This looks like nap time.
If these people were killed, they were executed, and all their weapons were dumped in a fucking pile. That would make sense. But a bombing, the ground is completely undisturbed. The vegetation is completely undisturbed. All the bodies are completely intact. There's not even earth that's been blown around and landed on their nice, crisp, clean, brand new fucking uniforms. This is not a bombing. And if they claim these people are dead from a bombing, they should be bombed, so they know what a bombing looks like.
Yeah, why is nobody missing limbs or any kind of damage to those uniforms at all?
None of their limbs are even in a weird position.
No, they're all just kind of laying on their set. It's like, all right, take 5, everybody. It's nap time.
This is how people lay down when they don't want to crush all the shit in their backpack because they're going to be getting right back up and marching in a minute.
Yeah, or they're so exhausted from a march, they just kind of drop. Because you don't land on your backpack. That's too awkward. And you would want to break all your shit.
You also might notice there's no markings from Russian military on it.
Yeah, the patches weren't there.
There's literally nothing there. So I don't know if this is staged, just propaganda, or if they killed these guys in a different. This is not a bombing. I'm willing to say that.
Yeah, well, the lack of blood. Yeah, their boots don't look dirty either. Good point, Evolved.
But no, yeah, the Ukrainians are doing such a great job, guys. Such a great job.
Good propaganda.
Meanwhile, it comes out that they're getting their asses whipped. The rest of that story from the Robert Gates thing that we talked about a moment ago, they do talk about. I forget what city. There's a major city down there that the Russians just took full control over.
Good.
The Russians are winning. This is definitely staged. Again, I can't say it's staged. It's definitely propaganda. It's definitely a lie. But whether they actually killed Russian soldiers, in a manner that they've whined that Russians have killed us this way, or it's just people faking it a la Flower Girl earlier, I can't say. Either way, they did not die in a bombing.
Flower Girl had 1,000 times more legitimacy than just being a bombing. Because I still have the aid truck excuse that I can run by you. There is no evidence that a bomb exploded anywhere near the location that we can see in that photograph.
Nope. I killed 65 people. We're just standing in this field waiting for an inspection from a general who never arrives.
Yeah, that happens all the time, dude. That's how war is.
I wasn't in the military, but from what I know of it, how long do they keep you standing at the ready for an incoming general?
Like weeks or something.
My grandfather told me he had to stand for fucking hours waiting for either a general or a president. I don't know. I can't remember off the top of my head. But he said motherfuckers were like their knees were buckling out there and they were passing out at Camp Pendleton. Like there were people that would just fall out. Okay. So it can be a minute. I know it can be a little while.
But see, you said something there that's important. Thank you, Evolved Potato. Inspection on the front lines. Yeah. That's not something you do out in the field.
Oh, no, that was at Camp Pendleton. Yeah, that was not out that wasn't in Korea. No.
That's not, on the front line of the fighting. Nobody's waiting on Utah Beach like, oh fuck, 6 hours and he's still not here.
Yeah, no one was waiting for MacArthur on Omaha Beach, man. Like, yeah.
Like he's coming in, maybe an hour. I'll give you an hour, but no.
Oh, we're in hostile enemy territory. We have a war to fight, man. In fact, a general may or may not, and again, I was in the military, but just people talked, like he may or may not spend too much time right on the front lines these days.
Brand says, I think since the faces are blurred, those are Ukrainian soldiers posing. Also explains the removed patches.
I do, RJ. By the way, I'm sorry. I thought you were done. I thought you were taking a pause.
No, go ahead.
You. I was telling RJ, yes, Spud Bud t-shirts are available. Listen to Jim, listen to Medicare. Spud Bud is available. You can get it on VivaLasTejas.com, whatever the fuck that is, from some cartoon man. Get a Spud Bud today. It cures cancer for all our little buddies out there. And it helps Adonis Paul buy his heart medication.
Speaking of that, how's your heart been doing, dude?
Good. I got down to about 120 pounds, man, and it was really scary. But then after a bunch of medical stuff and testing, we came down to I've been eating sugar and fat my entire life. And then in this last year, I completely cut out sugar and most fat. And so, of course, my body was like an addict, was just burning all of it that I could get.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm back up to 145, and I'm taking 2 different martial arts 4 times a week.
How tall are you?
5'7".
6 foot. If I got to 145 pounds, I'd look like, Jack would try to date me.
I look like Golem with cancer. I mean, I'm still way too skinny, but I mean, 60 or 70 pounds lighter than I should be is, it's better than 90 pounds lighter than I should be.
Sure. Yeah.
It just, when you start dropping weight, it happens gradually. And then one day you look in the mirror and you're like, holy shit, what happened to me? What scared me and made me go back to the doctors and get really back into being healthy and making sure is my ex-wife, the person most predicated in the world to want me dead. She works in hospice care. And I came to pick up my daughter and she goes, I need to talk to you. I'm like, oh no, what did she do? And she's like, no, it's not about the kid. I'm like, you look like one of my patients.
Oh.
And I'm like, fuck you, bitch. But
she hands you a bucket of lard and is like, eat that.
I thought about what she said, and she goes, when are you going to the doctor? And we start talking about how much I weigh, and I'm like, yeah, it is concerning. And she goes, when are you going to the doctor again? And I remember it was the 14th of the next month, because I had to say it a bunch to her. And she goes, I'd like to go with you in case we have to make a plan.
Oh,
damn.
Shit.
And I didn't take her with me, but that's when I decided that I'm not quite ready to experience the worst thing I've ever experienced again. And if it was going to come, it wasn't going to come because I was weak. So the last 2 months or so, I guess that was last November when I went to the doctor. So the last few months, just been trying to put on weight. The medicine I take doesn't make it easy to eat, but try to put on as much weight as possible, working out a little more. But I have a little trouble going to the gym and working out. I think it's just boring as shit. Mm-hmm. So I did what I was into 20 years ago, and I started back on the martial arts. But I can't do MMA because I have all these stints. I get slammed too bad, or I get a shot in the chest, which is normally an okay place to hit somebody. I move a stint, I die immediately. So right. I had to find arts that did not necessarily. I don't want to say it's hard to explain. I had to find things that were different from just doing MMA every night, if that makes sense. I'm not going to go into the details of what I do. I don't want people hunting me down and shit, but
no, fair enough.
But I can tell now. I can tell I'm stronger, and I feel better, and my attitude is a lot better. I'm happier. As adults, we tend to forget to learn, and it's very it builds self-esteem. It'll make you impress yourself, and you'll kind of get addicted once you learn to learn again, and you're learning something outside of your comfort zone. We get into our career and we don't really learn. We'll learn stuff that has to do with our career, but we got a foundation for that. So I think that's what everybody should do. That get a hobby, service other people, be a service to other people. Get a hobby, even if it's something completely out of your comfort zone. You'll be better for it.
I'm having an issue right now because I stopped taking my medicine, guys. I don't know if I've announced that on this show. I know I said it on the game stream, but
I stopped thinners?
No.
Okay.
Nerve blockers, actually, for all the pain. And I was noticing that whether or not I took my medicine, the pain never changed. It would get worse if I hadn't taken the medicine, and then I would take it and it would subside, but it would get back to its normal levels of life sucks. I was also more emotional, and not in a healthy way of, men need to show emotions, but quick to anger. Not like Lady Monkey's never been in dandy and like punch my wife or anything like that. Just the feeling inside. I didn't feel like myself, and I've stopped taking them, and it's been long enough that you guys don't have to worry about it. I'm fine. Been through the withdrawals from it and everything. I'm good. I do not recommend what I do. I'm just telling you I did it. However, one of the side effects of taking that medicine is that I was never hungry. And that stayed after I stopped taking the medicine until about 3 days ago. and I'm starting to feel hunger again. And I hate that feeling. I don't know how you guys deal with it. Because I've gone almost a decade not feeling it.
I don't feel it. I was about to say I have that problem. That's my whole problem. My body doesn't give me a signal that I'm not hungry. I might feel hungry for a few minutes, but if I'm doing something and I don't get up, it goes away. And there were times when I wasn't eating for 3 days, not because I'm anorexic. I just wasn't hungry. And if I put food in my mouth, you'll know what I'm talking about, Monkey. Your mouth dries up. You cannot get food down.
Yeah, it was never a thing where like, oh, I'm going to lose weight or anything. It's just like I would forget to eat because I wasn't hungry. And it's easier for me not to have to go upstairs, which is where the kitchen is. This is a single-story house, fully furnished, walkout basement. So it's like a 2-story house, but the kitchen is upstairs for building and tax purposes when they built the place.
I got you.
And so I have to go upstairs to eat. And like, I'm not even hungry. So why would I take, and especially with as many times I've fallen down the stairs, it was a health hazard really to go eat.
Oh, dude, I feel you. And I live alone. You know, you got a family there. So do you know how many groceries I've just thrown out? How many full grocery trips just thrown out? Bread that wasn't eaten gets full.
Yeah.
Get out. Yeah, just you can't eat. But that's, you know, that it's gotten better. I'm not trying to put over like, oh, I'm dying. No, I'm putting on weight. I'm feeling stronger. My arms and chest because of what the weapon art that I do. It's one of them's a weapon art. And that really helps, man. It's, you know, for older guys like us, you know, it's just staying not older, but just middle-aged, staying active in something, man. We don't, you know, we're internet people. We sit around a lot. So it's good to get out and do something physical.
Yeah, for me, that's a lot harder just because of the pain part of it. But I knew I made the right decision when even my wife looked at me like, you seem happier now.
Oh, she didn't tell you were dying? Yeah, it's good. That's a good sign.
No.
Yeah.
No, that is how I know when I'm sick, because my wife has no sympathy for me when I'm just whining, you know, when I got the man flu. When my wife looks at me and goes, you look like hell, that's when I know shit's gone bad.
Yeah, no, that's what scared me about my ex-wife. Notoriously, one of the stories I always tell, and she hates it when I tell this story, is one time I was very, very sick, and I asked her if she could bring me some food, and she said, "You're not on your fucking deathbed. Get up and get a plate yourself." And again, this marriage ended, Monkey. So
fair.
The next day I was in the hospital, and I had to get my gallbladder removed. I was on the deathbed. So that's a cool thing to hold over your wife's head, especially if you don't like her. You know,
right. Well, look, in fairness to women, I mean, we men, when we get sick, we do become babies.
I'm the worst. Yeah, we are so much worse. You women go through so many terrible things with your body that you just get sick and walk around. When men get sick, we're done for days.
Yeah, we're like Ukrainians in a field where a bomb exploded. It's
right. Just lay right down.
But yeah, so I understand it. But occasionally, there was one time I was watching my daughter, and I did not feel well at all. And my wife had to go to work. I'm like, baby, please just call in. I can't do this today. And she's like, no, I got to go work because she's got, you know, that fucking gene in her where she is responsible and shit. And I ended up calling my dad, like, Dad, can you please just come over? And it turned out I had pneumonia, dude. That's how bad I was, where my wife was like, you'll be fine. Sometimes, you know, the man flu is real, ladies. Sometimes we really are sick.
What I'm hearing is that women are callous and calculating.
Yes.
Yeah, you know what I'm hearing? Is it's the same as it ever was. Well, we have periods and have babies, so fuck you.
Yeah, well, you know.
You little pussies. Yeah, it's the same as it ever was.
In fairness, for the next week, I was treated like a king. I'm not going to lie.
Oh, well,
she felt so bad.
You know, we may want to go ahead and just die, and I'll tell you why. I was doing a trans issues segment on the nutritional value of male breast milk.
Oh God, fuck that! I saw that article.
I'm on to it. This is not about trans people. Monkey, they got us cooking.
Mm-hmm.
They got us cleaning.
Mm-hmm.
They can, when your wife has a baby, they can give her a pill to dry up her milk, and they can give you a pill to start producing it. What do you think the next step is from there, man?
I think kids starve to death because that's not actual milk.
Oh no, science. The science is in. It has the same nutritional value as
that is not what that says.
That's what That's what they said.
No, if you read it carefully, they couch it. It's almost the same.
Oh, the person giving me this information did not give me an opportunity to read it. They did a TikTok video. This is late night we're talking about.
I gotcha. Yeah.
They were just talking out of their ass, and in the middle of it, I'm like, wait a minute. You're trying to get me to do another lady thing, aren't you?
They're trying to turn men into women.
They started making us go to baby showers in 1980 and like 1995 or so. That started, and it's been downhill from there. And now they're going to milk us.
Yes,
they're milking us.
And while I have nice titties, I'm not going to lie, guys. I'm not letting a child suck on my nipples. That's weird.
A little bit. Real quick, thank you, Frosted Glass. I think I have a peaceful way to make everyone happy. So far, we've sent about $1,750 per Ukrainian citizen in aid. Adjusted for inflation, a slave in 1860 cost about $3,200. Win your war, Ukrainians, but when you're done, half of you are on cotton duty.
You know what? I think if you ever wanted to get the black community on your side, Trump, this is the policy to forward. How would you like white slaves?
Didn't Patrice O'Neill make a joke about that? I just saw somebody reacting to that clip today where he was talking about Obama, and he's like, I thought by now I'd at least have a white slave. You could get the black community on your side with that.
They're the best slaves.
Yeah. And it doesn't have to be your fellow Americans. They can be Ukrainian.
Black community, hear me out. White slaves. What do you think? I don't even give a fuck about them, man. I don't care about these people just because they're white. I don't care about Slavs. White slaves. White Slavs.
White Slav, yeah.
But yeah, just they're 4/5 the way there already. Just put an E on the end.
Yeah. Black Romeo says, I'm listening. Yeah.
I bet you are. How many you want, Black Romeo?
These are classic models.
I'll get you one to put on each one of your shoes in the morning. What do you think about that? I'll get you a big, tough, muscular military motherfucker too, man. And you can whip his ass. What do you think of that?
And on whip his ass, let's wrap this one up, ladies and gentlemen.
It's okay. They were white slaves. Nobody cares.
They're white slaves. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. Gabapentin is one of those drugs that sure, but you have to wean yourself off of it, monkey. Well, you're supposed to. I quit all my medicines cold turkey. Yeah.
I worry when people say that, man.
That's why I said don't do what I do.
I thought I immediately remembered you saying that and changed to I worry that you said that. But hey, man, it's your life, bro. I want you to live it to the fullest.
I don't know that I could have even done it slowly without talking to my doctor, who wouldn't have let me do it in the first place.
I mean, it wasn't the blood thinners, though, man. It wasn't something that was going to make you drop dead the next day. So
actually, quitting gabapentin cold turkey can stop your heart.
Oh,
yeah. You got to be careful with that stuff. And the other one, I can't even remember the name of it. That one's even worse. So,
well, I'm in my statement to glad you didn't die then.
I appreciate it. I really do. But seriously, guys, when I tell you stuff that I do like that, I'm not telling you to do it. You always check with your doctor before you change medicines, that kind of stuff. I really do believe in that for everybody else. I'm not a hypocrite. I believe in it for everybody else. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for coming and hanging out with us tonight. Thank you so very much for the donations. You guys are fucking awesome. Jack, anything you want to chill out?
No, I haven't done anything. Go watch AP's show.
Yeah, tomorrow night, 11 o'clock on my channel. I have, as it stands right now, 13,594 subscribers. It'd be really cool if 6 of you could go over and subscribe to the Adonis Paul channel.
Hell yeah. Are you doing Rumble exclusive still?
On Wednesdays. Yeah, tonight was a Rumble Wednesday.
Nice.
Frosty Glass, thank you so much. Whip Crack, your name is LaQuisha. My name is Kunta. That's a Roots joke for those of you who don't get it. Go check out AP's channel, both on Rumble and on YouTube. Guys, thanks for hanging out with us. AP, Jack, pleasure as always, gentlemen.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. I wasn't in your chat just trying to come on the show, but, trying to pressure you. But you invited me anyway, and it was really, really fun. Here's something you'll learn really quickly about me. If I'm not actually interested in you being on the show, I won't ask. Okay. Cool. Well, I didn't want to feel like I crowbarred my way in or something like that 2 nights in a row. We've never hung out this much. So later, Monkey. Later, Jack. It's cool talking to you. And chat, I need 6 of you to go subscribe, and I want to see you tomorrow night.
Jack, will you toss that into YouTube chat one more time?
Okay.
Guys, thanks for hanging out with us. We love you. Take care of yourselves, and we'll see y'all next time.
Bye, everybody.
Sing a song at the end of the show so that you guys don't yell at me for not doing a song at the end of the show.